Did you know that the secret to keeping your legs strong and steady as you age might not be found in the gym, but hiding in plain sight, right in your fruit bowl? Many seniors reach for a piece of fruit every day, believing they are making one of the best possible choices for their health. It's a symbol of vitality, a natural source of vitamins. But what if some of those very same healthy fruits are secretly working against you? What if they are quietly robbing your legs of their strength, disrupting your balance, and making every step feel just a little bit harder than it did yesterday? It doesn't happen overnight. At first, the changes are subtle. Maybe you feel an unexplained stiffness in your knees when you get out of bed. Perhaps you notice your legs tiring more quickly during your daily walk, or you feel a little less confident on the stairs. You might chalk it up to just another birthday, a normal part of getting older. But the truth is, something more insidious could be at play. New research is revealing how certain fruits, especially when eaten in specific ways, can create a perfect storm inside the bodies of older adults, triggering inflammation, disrupting delicate mineral balances, and slowly draining the power from your lower body. In this video, we are going to uncover the 7 fruits that could be silently sabotaging your leg strength. We'll explore not just what they are, but why they can be so problematic for anyone over 60. And more importantly, we'll discuss what you should do instead to protect your mobility and walk with confidence for years to come. Before we dive in, I'm curious to hear from you. In the comments below, please share one fruit that you eat almost every day for your health. We at Wisdom Free read every single comment, and we want to build a community that supports each other on this journey. Now let's begin with a fruit that many consider a guilt-free, healthy snack, but its hidden nature could be a surprising threat to your leg muscles. Grapes are easy to love. They're sweet, convenient, and you can eat a whole handful without even thinking about it. They seem like a perfect, light snack. But what if that mindless munching is quietly contributing to the inflammation that makes your legs feel stiff and achy? The problem with grapes lies in their very convenience. Unlike an apple or an orange that you have to peel or slice, you can consume a large quantity of grapes in minutes. This delivers a concentrated burst of sugar, primarily fructose and glucose, directly into your system. For an aging body with a slower metabolism, this isn't harmless. It's a shock to your system. Imagine your body's energy system like a gentle, flowing stream. When you eat foods with fiber, the sugar is released slowly, like a steady tributary feeding the stream. But when you eat a large handful of grapes, it's like a dam bursting. Your bloodstream is flooded with sugar, forcing your pancreas into overdrive to release insulin. This sudden spike is inevitably followed by a crash, leaving you feeling tired and, more importantly, leaving your muscles without the steady fuel they need to function. But it goes deeper than just a sugar rush. This repeated cycle of spiking and crashing blood sugar is a major driver of chronic, low-grade inflammation. Have you ever felt that dull, persistent ache in your knees or a feeling of heat in your joints after a long day? That's inflammation at work, a slow, simmering fire that damages the delicate tissues in your body. Grapes, when eaten in excess, can be like throwing kindling onto that fire. Furthermore, grapes are consistently on the dirty dozen list, meaning they often carry high levels of pesticide residue on their thin skins. For seniors whose systems may already be more sensitive, these chemical residues can further tax the liver and contribute to systemic inflammation, which often settles in the joints of the lower body. So what should you do instead? This doesn't mean you can never enjoy a grape again. The key is mindfulness and portion control. Instead of eating them straight from the bag, count out a small cluster, about 10 to 15 grapes, and put the rest away. Better yet, pair them with a source of protein or healthy fat, like a small piece of cheese or a few almonds. This simple trick can dramatically slow down that sugar absorption, protecting your muscles and joints from the shock. Before you reach for that bunch of grapes, ask yourself, am I eating this for nourishment or just out of habit? A small change here could make a big difference in how your legs feel tomorrow. Raisins, dried apricots, dates, they are often found in the health food aisle, marketed as wholesome, energy-boosting snacks. They're a staple in trail mixes and oatmeal. But what if these seemingly innocent dried fruits are actually one of the most deceptive threats to your leg strength? The danger lies in the process of dehydration. When a fruit is dried, all of its water is removed, but all of its sugar is left behind. This creates a tiny, super concentrated sugar bomb. A small box of raisins, for example, contains roughly the same amount of sugar as a whole bunch of fresh grapes, but without any of the water to help fill you up. This makes it incredibly easy to overconsume sugar without realizing it. Think about it this way. Could you eat 30 fresh grapes in one sitting? Maybe. Could you eat 30 raisins? Absolutely, and you'd barely notice. That intense sugar hit, without the buffering effect of water and with much of the fiber broken down, triggers that same inflammatory blood sugar spike we just discussed, only far more potent. But there's another, more insidious problem at play here. This process of concentrating sugar contributes to the formation of something called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. That's a fitting acronym, because these harmful compounds literally age your body from the inside out. When excess sugar binds to proteins in your body, it creates these stiff, dysfunctional AGEs. They attack the collagen in your muscles, tendons, and joints, the very protein that keeps them flexible and strong. Have you ever felt like your muscles are becoming stiffer, less elastic than they used to be? Do your knees and ankles feel less resilient? That could be the work of AGEs, making your connective tissues brittle and more prone to injury. A diet high in concentrated sugars from sources like dried fruit is a direct contributor to this damaging process. And if that weren't enough, many commercially produced dried fruits are treated with sulfites to preserve their color. For many seniors, sulfites can be a gut irritant, contributing to digestive issues and, you guessed it, more systemic inflammation that can impact your muscles and joints. Instead of reaching for a handful of raisins, try a small handful of fresh blueberries or raspberries. They offer powerful antioxidants with a much lower sugar load and all the fiber and water intact. If you truly crave that chewy texture, a single, unsweetened prune can be a good choice, as it provides significant fiber to aid digestion. We've been told for decades that a glass of orange juice is a healthy way to start the day. The labels shout 100% juice or not from concentrate. It feels like you're drinking pure, liquid health. But what if that daily glass of juice is one of the biggest reasons your legs feel weak and your energy is crashing by mid-morning? The problem is what's missing: fiber. When a whole fruit is pulverized and squeezed into juice, its single most important protective element is stripped away and discarded. That fiber is nature's built-in braking system for sugar. Without it, the natural sugars in the fruit are mainlined directly into your bloodstream, causing a more rapid and extreme blood sugar spike than even a can of soda in some cases. your body is thrown into emergency mode. Your pancreas scrambles to pump out insulin to manage the flood, and your muscles, instead of receiving a steady supply of energy, are subjected to this chaotic cycle. Over time, your cells can become resistant to insulin signals. This means that even when sugar is available, your muscles can't effectively absorb it for fuel. Have you ever felt that strange sensation where your legs feel both tired and restless at the same time? Or a profound weakness after just a short walk, even though you ate what you thought was a healthy breakfast? That is a classic sign of poor glucose uptake by your muscles, a direct consequence of insulin resistance. Drinking fruit juice is like pouring gasoline on that fire. A 2021 study highlighted this perfectly. Researchers found that seniors who regularly drank fruit juice had a significantly faster rate of leg muscle atrophy, that's the medical term for muscle wasting, compared to those who ate whole fruits. The liquid sugar was literally accelerating the decline of their lower body strength. What makes this even worse is that your brain doesn't register liquid calories in the same way it does solid food. You can drink 120 calories of apple juice and still feel hungry, whereas eating a whole apple would leave you feeling much more satisfied. This leads to overconsumption of sugar, which your body then stores as fat, particularly visceral fat, around your abdomen. This type of fat is metabolically active, constantly pumping out inflammatory signals that weaken your entire body, especially your legs. The solution is simple but non-negotiable. Stop drinking fruit juice. All of it. Instead, eat the whole fruit. If you're thirsty, drink water. If you want some flavor, infuse your water with a slice of lemon, a few mint leaves, or a cucumber slice. Your legs can't afford another sip of liquid sugar. This one may seem obvious, but it's sitting in more pantries than you might think. Canned peaches, fruit cocktail, pears in heavy syrup, they are a throwback to another era, but they are one of the most destructive fruit-based products a senior can eat. It's not just fruit, it's a science experiment in how to destroy leg strength. First, the fruit itself is often peeled and cooked at high temperatures, which destroys many of the vital, heat-sensitive nutrients like vitamin C, which is essential for collagen repair in your joints. The fiber is softened to the point of being almost useless. But the real villain is the syrup. This isn't just sugar water, it's often a brew of high fructose corn syrup, a uniquely damaging form of sugar. Unlike regular glucose, high fructose places an enormous burden directly on your liver. When your liver gets overwhelmed, it has no choice but to convert that fructose into fat, leading to or worsening non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, a silent epidemic among seniors. What does a fatty liver have to do with your legs? Everything. A healthy liver is like your body's central processing unit for nutrients. When it's clogged with fat, it can't properly regulate blood sugar, manage cholesterol, or detoxify your system. This creates a body-wide state of inflammation and poor nutrient delivery. Your leg muscles are starved of the energy and building blocks they need to stay strong, leading to weakness, poor recovery, and that feeling of heavy legs. If you've ever felt like you're walking through wet cement, that your legs just won't cooperate, a burdened liver and the resulting inflammation could be the hidden culprit. Consuming canned fruit in syrup directly fuels this dysfunction. It's a double blow. You get all the damaging sugar with none of the fruit's original benefits. If you need the convenience of preserved fruit, always choose frozen options with no added sugar. Frozen fruit is typically picked at peak ripeness and flash frozen, which preserves its nutritional value far better than canning. But before you open that can of syrupy peaches, ask yourself, is this convenience worth sacrificing the strength in my legs? Mango is called the king of fruits, and pineapple is a symbol of tropical health. But for seniors, these fruits, especially when very ripe, can act like royalty that demands a heavy tax from your body. A tax paid for by your muscle strength and joint health. The issue, once again, is a specific type of sugar, fructose. While all sugar can be problematic in excess, fructose from these dense, sweet fruits is especially hard on an aging liver. A single cup of ripe mango can contain over 20 grams of sugar, much of it fructose. When that hits your system, it starts a cascade of negative effects. One of the lesser-known consequences of high fructose intake is the production of uric acid. You might associate uric acid with gout, a painful joint condition, but even moderately elevated uric acid levels can contribute to widespread inflammation and have been linked to hypertension and insulin resistance. This means that a diet high in fruits like ripe mango and pineapple can be quietly fueling the very joint pain and stiffness that makes walking difficult. Furthermore, let's talk about pineapple's famous enzyme, bromelain. It's often touted as a powerful anti-inflammatory. However, the reality for seniors is more complex. The amount of bromelain in the fruit you eat is often not enough to have a significant therapeutic effect, especially when consumed with such a large dose of sugar. The inflammatory impact of the sugar can easily cancel out and even overwhelm any potential benefit from the bromelain. You're taking one step forward and two steps back. These fruits aren't evil, but their context has changed. In your 20s, your body could handle that fructose load. But after 60, with a less efficient liver and more sensitive insulin response, that same fruit can become a metabolic burden. It drains your energy rather than providing it. If you love tropical flavors, consider papaya, which is lower in sugar and higher in a different helpful enzyme, papain. If you must have mango or pineapple, treat it like a dessert. Eat a very small portion, make sure it's not overripe, and always pair it with a robust source of protein and fat, like a generous dollop of full-fat Greek yogurt, to buffer the metabolic hit. On a hot summer day, what could be more refreshing than a big slice of watermelon? It's 92% water after all. It feels light and harmless. But what if this hydrating treat is actually creating a dehydrating effect deep inside your muscle cells? The problem with watermelon is its incredibly high glycemic index, a measure of how quickly a food raises blood sugar. Watermelon's GI can be as high as 80, which is higher than table sugar. This means it dumps glucose into your blood almost instantaneously. You know the drill by now: insulin spike, inflammatory response. But here's the cruel irony. While you're consuming all that water, the massive sugar load disrupts the delicate balance of electrolytes in your body, particularly sodium and potassium. Your muscles rely on a precise ratio of these minerals to contract and relax properly. The huge insulin surge triggered by watermelon can cause potassium to shift out of your bloodstream and into cells too quickly, leading to an imbalance. Have you ever experienced sudden, sharp leg cramps at night? Or a feeling of profound muscle weakness that seems to come out of nowhere? This can be a sign of electrolyte imbalance. You think you are hydrating your body with watermelon, but you are actually creating a cellular environment that is ripe for cramps, stiffness, and weakness. Moreover, watermelon provides what we call false fullness. You feel full because of the water volume, but you've consumed very few muscle protective nutrients. It's low in magnesium, calcium, and protein, the actual building blocks of strong muscles. So, it takes up space in your stomach that could have been used for more nutrient-dense foods that genuinely support your leg strength. Instead of a large wedge of watermelon, have a very small cube. A far better choice for hydration and muscle health would be to drink a glass of water and have a handful of almonds or a piece of cheese. This provides real, sustained energy and the minerals your muscles are crying out for. This may be the most shocking one of all. Bananas are marketed as the perfect food for athletes, a go-to source of potassium for preventing cramps. We see them in every gym and hospital cafeteria. But for a senior, a ripe, yellow banana, especially when eaten alone, could be one of the worst culprits for draining leg strength. The problem is the ripeness. As a banana ripens, its starches convert into simple sugars, glucose and fructose. A soft, spotted banana has a very high glycemic load, meaning it will spike your blood sugar almost as fast as candy. For an older adult who may already be struggling with some degree of insulin resistance, this is a recipe for disaster. That immediate sugar surge triggers the inflammatory cascade that we now know is so damaging to muscle tissue and joints. But the issue with bananas is even more nuanced. Let's talk about that potassium. While potassium is essential, its relationship with sodium is what truly matters for muscle function. Your muscle cells have tiny gateways called the sodium-potassium pump. This pump is what allows nerves to fire and muscles to contract. It relies on a delicate balance. When you consume a massive, rapid dose of potassium from a ripe banana without adequate sodium, it can temporarily disrupt this delicate pump. For someone with perfectly healthy kidneys and metabolism, this isn't a big deal. But for a senior, especially one with even mild kidney impairment, the body struggles to manage this sudden influx. The result? Paradoxically, it can lead to muscle fatigue, weakness, and even cramping, the very things you were trying to prevent. You're eating a banana to stop cramps, but its metabolic effect could actually be causing them. It's a classic case of a good intention with an unintended, negative consequence. So, what is the solution? Don't banish bananas forever. Instead, change how you eat them. Choose bananas that are still slightly green at the tips. These contain more resistant starch, a type of fiber that doesn't spike your blood sugar. And never eat a banana alone. Always pair it with a healthy fat and protein. A classic combination like a banana with a tablespoon of peanut butter or almond butter is not just a tasty snack, it's a metabolic necessity. The fat and protein act as a buffer, slowing the sugar absorption and giving your body a chance to process it without the shock. As we've seen, the fruits you choose to eat and how you eat them have a profound impact on your body's foundation, your legs. It's not about fear, it's about wisdom. It's about understanding that your body at 60, 70, or 80 has different needs than it did at 30. The very fruits marketed as healthy, grapes, juices, dried fruits, and even ripe bananas, can silently create imbalances that lead to inflammation, stiffness, and weakness. Many seniors blame these symptoms on aging itself, never suspecting that the solution could be as simple as making a different choice in the produce aisle. Your challenge, starting today, is to become more aware. Look at your fruit bowl, not just as a source of vitamins, but as a source of information. Choose whole fruits over juices. Prioritize berries and fruits with thick skins over soft, high-sugar varieties. And always buffer your fruit intake with protein and healthy fats. Every step you take matters. Your independence, your confidence, and your ability to enjoy life to its fullest depend on the strength in your legs. Don't let a simple misunderstanding about fruit stand in your way. Now, I want to hear from you again. Which of these fruits surprised you the most? And what is one simple change you plan to make this week? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your story could be the inspiration someone else needs to make a change. Thank you for joining us here at Wisdom Free. If you found this information valuable, please hit the like button, share this video with someone you care about, and subscribe for more health insights backed by real science. Here's to living with strength, wisdom, and vitality on your own terms.